think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. A delightful morning to one and all present here. I'm Elisa. It's my immense pleasure to be the host of today's program. I would like to extend my gracious and inclusive welcome to you all on behalf of Welltech High-Tech, Dr. Rangarajan and Dr. Shakuntala Engineering College for the seminar on recent trends in supply chain management. Supply chain management is the discipline that manages the flow of supplies through all of the stages of production cycle. Supply chain management applies to any organization that executes projects, produces goods or provides services, as those activity requires a supply chain to maintain a steady flow of resources. To know and get deep knowledge in supply chain management, we have an eminent resource person, Dr. B. Ramesh, sparing his valuable time and knowledge with us here today, despite of his busy schedule. Thank you, sir. This day is not just wonderful, but also a day filled with learnings and new experience. So, to start with, may we all rise and be one in mind, body and spirit, as we praise and thank our Almighty God for His grace and blessings through our prayer song.
Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo
I now invite distinguished chief guest, respected Dean Academy, inspiring head of the department and other dignitaries on dais and off dais to bring the radiance of light by lighting the Kuthuvilakku. Thank you so much, sir, madam. Nothing can be more reassuring and heartwarming than affectionate words of welcome. To formally welcome us, let us lend our ears to Ms. Sat Tejaswi to give her opening remarks.
It is the best universal welcome. It can make the day a good day easily. A wonderful morning to one and all gathered here. On behalf of the management of Welltech High-Tech, Dr. Rangarajan, Dr. Shakuntala Engineering College, founder and chairman, Colonel Professor Dr. Ved Sri R. Rangarajan sir, Vice Chairman Dr. Srimati Shakuntala Rangarajan ma'am, Chairperson and Managing Trustee Srimati Mahalakshmi Kishore Kumar ma'am, Vice President Dr. KVD Kishore Kumar sir, the man of excellence, dedication, devotion, our honorable principal, Professor Dr. Dean Academy Dr. Ravi sir, other deans and lecturers of our college, being the supportive pillar of our institution. Our astonishing and energetic head of the department, Dr. A. Suresh Kumar sir, our supportive and my dear future entrepreneurs, HRs and budding managers. A special invite to our phenomenal and eminent speaker guest of the day, Dr. B. Ramesh sir, Chairman, a cool and enthusiastic heartfelt welcome to you, sir. We are very jubilant to have you on such an exciting program. Dr. B. Ramesh is having an industrial experience over 29 years, is here with us today to share his views and insights about recent trends in supply chain management. Supply chain digitalization, sustainability, growth in circular supply chain, agile supply chain, Internet of Things, data analytics, supply chain logistics, machine learning, automation are some of the recent trends in supply chain management. So today I am feeling extremely honored and privileged to be standing in front of you all and welcoming everyone for this seminar. We are awaiting eagerly for your wonderful words, sir. I hope everyone will be benefited through this wonderful seminar. Once again, welcome to all. Have a great day.
As a token of gratitude and respect, I now request our respected Dean Academic, Dr. Ravi sir, to felicitate the guest with memento and shawl. When you are around enormous successful people, you realize that their success is not an accident, it's about hard work. I now call upon Ms. Swati from First Year MBA to introduce the distinguished guest profile.
Good morning to one and all gathered here. A dream doesn't become reality through magic. It takes sweat, determination and hard work. It's my immense pleasure to give a brief introduction of our eminent resource person, Dr. B. Ramesh, the chairman of Indian Institute of Materials Management, Chennai. We are happy to have you with us on this grateful session on recent trends in supply chain management. Dr. B. Ramesh completed BE Mechanical, MBA Finance, MS Manufacturing Management from Birla Institute of Technology and Science, Pilani, and PhD in Management from Birla Institute of Technology, Misra, Ranchi. He is having an industry experience of over 29 years and specialized himself in automotive trailer design, manufacturing, application engineering, and logistics. He is also the member in Bureau of Indian Standards, TED 22 Committee, and convener for Automotive Industry Standard 091 and 092 standards. Such an experienced and inspiring person is with us today to talk on recent trends in supply chain management. I hope this session is going to be very informative and interesting. Once again, a warm welcome to you.
For sharing your wonderful profile. Every morning brings us a new thoughts, new words, new strength and endless possibilities. So to enlighten us and brighten our morning, here comes a phenomenal guest, Dr. B. Ramesh sir, to share his thoughts and wisdom of knowledge with us here today.
Good morning, sir. I'm okay with both Tamil and English, right? Yes, sir. Only in English. Yeah. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. So I am on Chennai branch. So this will I try to make or give some insight about the industry and also the supply chain management during this probably 1.5 hours session. And we will try to take it forward more with the question and answers. And probably this must be more of an interactive session. That will be more interesting. So what I suggest that let people participate together. In case there is any questions or something like that, we can always ask actually. And if there is any question posed, then you can try to give some insight. Then we can take it forward. Then students, right? First year students. So how many people know about supply chain management? So basic knowledge about supply chain management. So supply chain management, anything you have a supplier or you deal with a supplier, then supply chain management comes into picture. So that is how it is. Before going to that, actually about me actually and also about the Indian Institute of Materials Management, I need to just give a brief before we start. So Indian Institute of Materials Management is a national body. It's a national body. We have a national headquarters in Mumbai. We have about 52 branches all over the country. We have about 10,000 working professionals as part of the organization. So these are from various verticals of the industry. Actually, they are members. They are very senior positions also. So ours is a not-for-profit organization where we try to give a lot of insight for supply chain and logistics related arena actually. So in terms of promoting the supply chain, so we also give directions to the government. We also give lot of educational activities to the people, working professionals basically. So we need to have a minimum criteria of having at least 2 years experience before they start joining the programs within IIM. So this is more built to develop the working professional, really increasing the professional attitude over the industry in supply chain. So that is the aim for Indian Institute of Materials Management. So we have about 52 chapters also, 52 branches and also about 70 chapters all over the country. And I am the chairman for Chennai branch. So Chennai branch is having nearly about 700 members, life members. And we also give a lot of programs or do a lot of programs in supply chain. Like we organize Spectrum, we organize NATCOM which will be in December, where we will be more asking people to come and talk about latest trends, what we call here actually, and what are the disruptive features in the supply chain management, what are the latest happenings in supply chain management. So you can all be part of those programs actually, and you can join, of course, with be some paid program, and we also give some sort of a concession for the students. So you can also join this program and also try to get to know what is happening now. First of all, actually, since you are in first year as it is, everybody has an ambition towards what are a goal towards your life. So if you have any of the life or any goal, actually, first what I only request is that you put it on a paper and have a written goal and have a deep thought about it. Spend about 1 hour, write about your goal in a paper and just keep it somewhere. Then you will look after it. Actually, that might be you need to have a short-term goal and a long-term goal. You write it and then keep it. And after 2 years, 3 years, you see what is happening actually. So if your thoughts are aligned, actually, you will be working towards that goal. But everybody must have an objective or a goal. Because you are all in MBA from I think many people from engineering background and also from degree, BSc and BCom background also. So you can try to have an aim towards it. What is happening in industry is we are not getting the right people from the day one to work in the industry. This is happening currently. That is because there is a lot of gap about the curriculum and what is the requirement in the industry. If you are able to align your thoughts more towards the requirement for the industry, that means first if your objective is correct and what you are going to be is correct actually, and you are aligning your passion with reference to your working, then you are in the right. So you will be able to contribute a lot to the industry. So one is either you can become if you can do your own business or if you are going as an employee to an organization. Right from the day one, if you need to be able to contribute. So this 2 years, I think 2 years, MBA. So 2 years, you need to work a lot, do a lot of learnings, because here people are there, professors are there to help you out, but still you need to, now that everything is having on internet, so a lot of data is available on internet, but you need to have the right data in place and have the right attitude towards learning. So always try to read books as much as possible and try to get into the latest trends that are happening around. Not only I'm talking about supply chain, but it is also in your life, what you wanted to be. First of all, if you can bridge that gap, then you are in the right place and you will be able to contribute a lot and your goals will be faster to achieve. So today's world, if I see actually, if I interview 10 people, like last month we interviewed about 20 people, we are not able to select one. So that is the level of the education which is being offered around. I'm talking about engineering line actually, which we take people from my own industry. So there's a lot of gap that is there because people doesn't know about the subject. Even the expansion of the subject, I was trying to tell Suresh Kumar also in the morning. There's a subject called PPC, actually that person has taken as an elective. So he told that what elective you have taken, they have taken PPC as the elective. So then what is that subject you are learning? He told about all this subject. Then what is the expansion of PPC? He doesn't know the expansion of PPC. So this is the level, it's an elective subject which he has taken himself. So that is the level of learning in industry, because then we go back into that details of it actually, then there are no professors coming into the college or that they are left alone for learning, all these things are coming. So what is happening is, but he becomes an engineer end of the day and he is being selected to work. Then how will he be able to contribute? So main thing actually for all of you is that you learn subject, one is subject oriented learning and the other one is your goal oriented learning. So whoever is trying to have your goal set, actually try to maximize your time in spending in learning things towards achieving your goal. That will give you lot of your passion actually falling in place and your growth will be faster. End of the day, actually everybody is there for earning money, right? So, and you have to, and your time is money. So you cannot just spend just like that time, because you are not going to get it back. And using that time actually you are working in that one, that how much maximize you are able to do in that given time, then that is your earning. So you need to maximize your time and to get more money by working that time. That means actually whatever effort you are going to put, If you are putting effort for 1 minute, actually at least it must be able to contribute to you for the next 1 month. So that is the level of insight into your working has to be there. If it is not there, then you don't do that. So what I am telling you can understand. If you wanted to achieve something, or if you are spending some time today, that must be useful at least for you for next 5 years. Or you don't do that work. Just waste. Just doing this work today and earning money is not a long-term solution. So long-term solution is that you try to put your time today and you try to invest on the time that will give you revenue for the next 5 years. Then it's worth doing. So this is how you need to aim and practice your type of working. Whatever that means you are investing your time today, so that for benefit for tomorrow. Any of your work, what you are trying to do or what you are trying to inculcate knowledge actually, so those things must be useful to you for your life. What is happening is up to 10th standard or 12th standard we are reading because we just get to know things what is about even science, maths or history, geography. Actually we try to know what has happened in the future or what are the basic concepts. But afterwards actually practical comes where that 2-3 years actually of studying in the college, where you need to know about actually what is happening, what has happened before and what is going to happen in the future. So if you are able to clearly differentiate, then when you are getting into the future actually, then it will be able to guide you very much properly, or else you will be left alone. This is the basic gap what we are seeing when we recruit people for industry. When you are going for the interviews also, actually this will be one of the challenges, because your passion only will be tested. The knowledge of course has to be there, because if you start reading then you acquire knowledge, but knowledge doesn't only help. The passion also will support your work. That is one of the main thing that actually as a career guidance, if you are able to put your thoughts together, always spend your time actually very much effectively and in an efficient manner. So don't waste your time, because your time, all these hours are time which is available are very limited, and you are given within your lifespan actually so much time only is available, and you must use that to the maximum extent, either for your own development or for the development of others. So that's how you need to have yourself positioned. So coming to my industry, actually I am also having my own industry. We are manufacturing trailers, special trailers. We are doing, my company name is called SDR Auto Private Limited. We are manufacturing trailers. Trailers means actually I think people may not know what is a trailer. On the road you will be seeing trailer carrying containers. That is called a trailer. Like anything which are longer length, which is able to carry goods, is called a trailer. So you can, lorry they call it generally actually. Behind the lorry there is one more vehicle attached actually, so that's called a trailer. So it's called tractor trailer. So I have specialized myself for the last 30 years in developing tractor trailers. So what is the development I have done? We are doing more special applications. So trailer means transporting containers. Other than that, we are also doing trailers which are more for defense, for missile transportation, for missile launch, for rocket launch, for glass transportation. So this is application oriented. So we are manufacturing this type of trailers which are our own designs. I am basically a designer myself. So where we develop our own vehicles to suit the design. So we also support all the industry, including Ashok Leyland, Tata Motors, Mahindra, Bharat Brands. So we support them actually in giving the application solutions. So we develop solutions. So which will be need for the industry. For example, we are now doing one trailer which is for transportation of glass. So these are the things I am just training, because people may not be knowing what is a trailer actually, but just give an insight about how actually the businesses are running as it is. How efficiency we need to bring in the system. So any system which we are developing actually has to be more efficient. Today I am able to transport say 10 tons. Tomorrow in the same vehicle, if I am able to transport 15 tons, I am more efficient. So that doesn't stop. Then after that actually people expectation are more. The same thing I need to transport 20 tons. So how is that we need to achieve? So then that's not efficient, because your fuel price, everything is prices are high, getting rising daily. So you need to have more efficiency. So in supply chain management, actually efficiency counts. That's why actually people would have, I think if you have already learned something about supply chain management or logistics, actually These are the people who come at the last part of the supply or leg of this delivery. So they get integrated in the complete delivery line, but these people have to take wherever the transportation comes, wherever they have to buy material, source the material, these people come into picture where they have been given the target and where they have to prove themselves that they are efficient. How is that proved actually? Unless they generate their own, reduce the expenditure and increase the profit. So how to do that actually? Every time, today, this year one target is set, next year one more target is set. So supply chain is like part of everybody. Like even our Prime Minister is telling supply chain in the last maybe more than 20-25 times he would have told in the last 20-25 speeches about supply chain. Because when COVID started actually, then he talked about supply chain because of the delivery of the vaccines. So because the vaccine delivery was also a challenge. So where they have to deliver it to the intricate places. So and also this has to be stored and transported in full places. So the supply chain is being taught at that top level as it is. So that means that it is gaining more and more proficient in the grassroots level also. So people are not talking, because logistics is not a word at all before 1942. Logistics came to picture after 1942. So after the Second World War. Before that actually we are not talking about logistics. So supply chain actually was like a purchase department. Now it becomes as a management. So since you are management people as it is, you also need to know why this supply chain management is needed, and second, how to bring efficiency, and and my topic today is about recent trends in the supply chain management, what actually are happening around the globe in terms of supply chain management. So nothing big has been happening, but what is happening is the efficiency has improved. This is what actually making everybody to run from pillar to post to increase their throughput, or else they are not there. Today, MSMEs, there's a big challenge because of the finance. So, I don't know, you have MBA finance also? Yeah. So, finance is a big challenge because of the COVID. After COVID, a lot of people, industries are not supported with finance. So, probably 30 to 40% of industries may close down progressively in India. So, that's a big challenge for the government. So, that means everybody who is talking about supply chain has to improve their efficiency level completely. So first we will do one thing, we will have a structured presentation in terms of, we just go through the presentation in terms of what actually is the basics of supply chain which you will be knowing, but I will just give some sort of a study in that as it is so that you will get to know about that, and then we can have some questions and then accordingly we can move forward. So this is a basic supply chain management item. So when you are handling one item, two items or 10 items, it is not so difficult. But when you are handling thousands of items actually and thousands of suppliers and different raw materials, then it becomes complicated. So where actually your requirement comes is that, suppose if a raw material is there, you need to source raw material from at least 20 sources. For example, now coal is not available in the country, correct? So what is happening when coal is not available? What did the government do? So they are trying to source it outside. They are trying to import the coal. So import, there is a restriction. Australia is not producing no more coal, so they don't want to give coal. China is also not producing, and also because of the emission, they have cut down on the coal imports. They are also not going. So now where is the coal coming from? So the government has to get it from Indonesia or other places, other countries where actually they are able to get, other than mining in India. So mining in India also there is a lot of environmental clearance that is to be obtained. Now this is one example actually. So now India needs nearly about, say, one day they need about 7 lakh tons of coal, something like that. 3 lakh tons of coal or 7 lakh tons of coal, something like that. So how much? So that will they show that in that case immediately it comes from. So this becomes a big challenge. So then that requires a lot of planning activity has to be there. For sourcing raw material, you must know also have the input, where the raw material can be sourced, how much long lead time it will be there for sourcing, so what will be the cost, what is the economy, so whether I can buy coal at a price, certain price, because the price is a direct bearing, So if I am getting at 10 rupees and if I get gold tomorrow at 20 rupees, directly my profitability is a problem. So my revenue is a challenge. So these are the things actually which we have to see when we are doing a raw material procurement. So here all these basic things are all being counted. The problem, the challenge which is coming, more than problem, challenge is coming is when you are trying to put all these things together with a multiple activity, then you have a lot of things to be done. So that you cannot do by yourself. It has to be done either by analytical solution, analysis has to be carried out, or by through the programming it has to be done. So that's where actually a lot of digitalization is coming into picture in the complete supply chain. So in the next slide. So your procurement, your product life cycle management, your logistics, your supply chain strategy, and supply chain planning. So all these things are the part of the supply chain. So procurement is one part, product life cycle management is one part. Actually, we just go to next slide. Next slide. So this is the product life cycle curve. It's a bell curve as it is. So any product actually from the start state it will go to the peak and it will die. So that is the normal phenomenon. So if you wanted to stay there for a quite some even you take anything actually, so it will go to the peak period and it will die. So when it is dying, like even if you take cars, any model of cars, any model of cell phone, for example. So if you take any model of watches or any type of items which are as a handwork items or household items, so which are using, so everything is having a, so it is having first introduction phase, growth phase, maturity phase, and decline phase. So that means any product you need to be see the volatility. It is not going to stay long. So it is not permanent. So you need to go for a change. So change becomes inevitable. So this is where you get a lot of opportunity. Now it is a COVID situation. So in the COVID situation, 2 years the output actually was not there. Then the consumption was not there, and suddenly there is a lot of consumption happening, and people are not able to support. That is because there is a lot of demand that is happening on the raw material, and second one is a lot of product change that is happening. So when you are in the decline phase, and if you are getting into that situation, for example, if a product is in the decline phase and you are getting into that situation, then you are not able to cope up with the requirement. Your industry will die. So to make the most of the requirement in your industry means actually you need to have a lot of innovation that is being carried out. So what is innovation? You can somebody tell what is innovation?
Discovering new things.
Improving the existing product.
What is the difference between discovery and innovation?
Discovery is creating new product. Innovation is improving the existing product.
Then any other answers? Discovery is something which is already existing, so you are able to find out. Innovation is creating new things. So it is already existing, so then you only discover it. So it is already there. Maybe you are not able to find out today. Tomorrow you will be able to find out. But innovation is something new which you are trying to develop. So innovation is something where actually you need to trust upon. Today, any product you take actually when it's new, people buy. So when it becomes old, people don't buy. So what happens? So people started constantly innovating things. How to make it more better, more information. So we need to start innovating things. So for the product life cycle to prolong for a while, actually what they do, even if you take a car, for example, what they do, they come out with the same model car, they refurbish and come out. Now Scorpio is getting launched with a different model, the same name actually, then they are again launching with a different variant. So what they are doing, same model they are taking, they are doing some sort of a sophistication to that and then trying to prolong the decline of the product so that they stay in the market, because that's a lot of investment that has already gone in. So for us to stay in the market actually for a particular product, then your life cycle of the product has to be increased. That is one way. Or create new things. Create new things is a big challenge as it is. So what is happening when people are aware about the emission norms, correct? Euro 0, Euro 3, Euro 6, Euro 4, Euro 6 and all. BS4, BS5, BS6. So these are emission norms which are happening, which is actually for the pollution control on the vehicles which has been carried out, that in the engine has to be checked for the pollution and it has to meet the emission level. So emission level was like from BS4 to BS6, when the people have to change, then the complete engine nomenclature has to be changed. So each vehicle industry has to invest something like 5,000 crore for the development. So having that investment of 5,000 crore as it is, they have to get revenue out of it. If by the time actually the electric car came into picture. So whoever invested in Euro 6 vehicles actually, now electric car come into picture, so people are confused whether to buy electrical car or to buy Euro 6. So this is a constant change which is happening. So for you to be in business, actually you need to see whether that particular thing is going to exist for a while, whether it's worth investing or not. So there is a lot of challenges which has to be taken care before you try to invest. So that means you need to do a lot of market study on that particular subject as it is. So for us, just go back. Here. So procurement is one aspect, product life cycle is another, logistics is one aspect. So logistics, what is logistics? Transportation. Then anybody with the back? Now what is logistics? Because you see the term supply chain management and logistics. Shipping. Then
Move the product to the customers.
moving
Move the product to the customers.
the product to the customer. So that means it's a transportation. So logistics is something actually when you see one is transport. What you are telling is transportation. That is movement of the goods from one place to the other. That's just. But for that movement, when it has to be moved, what time it has to be moved, how much has to be moved. So this planning is to be there actually. So this complete planning is called logistics. So you can have within the factory you can have movement, or outside the factory for delivery of the goods you can have movement. So within the factory when you do it is called inbound logistics. Outside the factory when you move it is outbound logistics. So inbound logistics, for example, in the cement industry as it is, if you take go to the other. Next. So this is the logistics in the cement industry. So when you are talking about actually inbound logistics, so coal is there. Coal is to be moved from the mines to the coal yard to the fuel to the cement factory, then clinker transportation to the cement factory, then through the tippers, limestone through the tippers, it is to be transported to the dumping yard to the conveyor belt taken to the cement factory. So this is a logistics movement. So what is logistic movement? So how much has to be moved, at what time it has to be moved, how much and what will be the quantity it is moved, how many vehicles are needed for that movement. So these are things like now we are not talking about 1 ton, 2 ton actually, we are talking about 10,000 ton, 20,000 tons. So what people talk about actually, so you need to have large vehicle planning. So people need to know how many vehicles are needed, at what time it is needed, and how much time, because one vehicle if you put, the vehicle will go back and come, again go back and come. So the same vehicle can do 10 trips per day or 20 trips per day, then how many vehicles has to plan, these are the planning activity. So when you are talking about more on the logistics, we need to do a lot of planning in terms of movement. For transportation, which we told actually transportation is something for movement, it is only movement from A to B. But when it will be moved and how much it is moved and what is to be moved has to be decided by logistics. So that is the logistics team which will be doing it. So this is so similarly when cement is actually taken then from the grinding unit, it is going as bag or to the loose cement to the bulker to the batch plant, or it can go as a cement bag to the cement barrows and customers. Now where is your management comes in here? For the outbound logistics, as the management comes in here. So here, actually, when you are transporting here from the grinding unit, how many bags? So per day, so much bags will be bag. So if you are not removing the bags, again further storage cannot be there. So they have to move to the warehouse. So that means you need to have some dedicated vehicles there. From the warehouse, actually, if the warehouse is full and if you are not able to transport that to the dealers, then again there is a problem. So your warehouse will be full and you will not be able to store further material. Your plant will become fault. You need to move to the dealer's place. From the dealer place, actually, you cannot, unless you sell that one, actually you will not be able to take further from the warehouse. So this is all as a chain, complete. So it is a total business. So where actually you get supply chain activity completely in the complete cycle of the business. So anywhere you cannot have a slack. So that's why we call it supply chain. So what is chain actually? Cycle chain. Okay. Chain. How is the chain formed? So it is with a link. Number of links forms a chain. So one link fails, the whole chain fails. So that means same with supply chain management. So one area fails. Say for example, actually you are not able to move from cement warehouse to this customers. Actually, then your business is lost. Or if you are from your plant, you are not able to move the warehouse, then business is lost. So I told you actually time is one of the criteria. So time is money. So you cannot waste time. So that means you need to do a lot of planning activity for this. Well before. That's where actually you people come in. So your requirement is that actually monitoring the complete activity. If you are going to be a supply chain activity after this plant in the warehouse department or in the plant cement plant operation actually in logistics department, your planning will be like what is getting back, what is to be moved to the yard, or what is to be moved to the warehouse. Everything actually you need to monitor. Of course, you will be having a number of people, so they each will be having different products, product lines, mix match. Then accordingly you need to do that. So what is happening is that when you have more products, like cement plant is having something close to say 20 or 25 type of cement. So this 25 type of cement has to be packed or stored in different warehouses. Then this has to be taken to different customers depending on the requirement. So again there is a lot of planning activity. So this is where actually supply chain comes. Where your type of work as it is will come into picture is more in this type of area. This is one vertical we are talking about supply chain. Suppose we are talking about dairy products. So dairy again, if you are talking about dairy, then you need to collect milk. So milk is from the milk vendors. It will be on the village. There you need to collect to the common center where actually all the milk has to be collected. From there it has to be refrigerated and it is taken to the say for example our units actually must be taken to the dairy plant. There it has to be processed. Then from there actually it will be packed. Then it has to be taken back to the whoever is going to the supplier vendors. So this is a chain again. So in any of the disruption, so in COVID situation actually what happened in Avin, so Avin experienced actually because Avin the minister also told at the time the government told that there will be no single day disruption in giving milk. So how do they effectively maintain the supply chain working? Because they have to collect the milk from the vendor. Actually they completely it was locked down and complete India was locked down. So they have to collect the milk from the milk vendor, then send it to the refrigerator plant, then send it to the dairy, then it has to be packed and so everybody has to work. Without people nothing can be done because it is not fully semi-automatized. So what they did is they made all the people to come into the industry and stick there only and try to work. This is what they managed. So without having any disruption for the industry. So in a chain like link is one of the weakest component actually, so it has to be properly strengthened means then the complete chain will be functioning. So similarly actually in every step of your supply either from the raw material or to the manufacturing or to the delivery point or to the customer. So everything has to be managed meticulously for your product to succeed. So the importance of supply chain is such a way that actually if you are not able to manage this properly, then your product will be failed. Simple as that. If you go to a shop and if you are wanting one item, actually item is not there, then you go for next item because alternative, and then you choose, you buy, correct? So what is happening? The business for that one which is not available is lost. You try to use a different product, and if you are seeing that it's good, then you try to get accustomed to it. Next time you go, you buy the other product. You don't buy the other product. So that is having a repercussion. So the business is large for the first product. So that particular supplier has to ensure that that product is made available every time. So otherwise his business is not there. So it's in retail. If you take, actually this is very finicky. So we need to be very sure that this is available at the required place at the right time, or else the product you will not be able to sell. So very simple actually. So supply chain, this is, if you take in a medicine, like for example pharmacy, same thing. Pharmacy also, if you take, actually there are thousands and thousands of varieties of tablets or medicines actually which has to be taken back to the industry, from the industry to the dealer point. Then suppose if it is all expired, then there must be a reverse logistic mechanism for this, taking it back to the plant, or they have to actually take it to the waste yard. So that's a method for that also. So there also, so this is a vertical. So we have different verticals. So every vertical has its own challenges. So every vertical has its own problem, own disruption mechanism. Now in the COVID, what happened? All the industry became upside down. For example, you know the fiasco with the containers. You know, because I only suggest that everybody read newspapers, at least newspapers every day. So you will be knowing the current trends that are happening. Containers are used for what is the use of container? You are seeing containers on the road. What is the use of the container? For? So why you are using container? Carry the goods. Why you are using a container? You can use a closed body truck also. Why you are using container? Okay. Okay. So easy to transport, packaging. Okay. What is the use of container? Any idea? So you are seeing on the road containers. Actually, you will see the containers on the ship also, because containers are of, like, they are made as, there is an ISO standard for the container. There are 3 to 4 type of containers. So on a basic thing, if you tell, you have 20 feet container and 40 feet container. Small container 6 meter width, larger container 12 feet width. So when you transport in a container, actually your cargo sizes are standardized. So you know actually definitely this is how much containers you load on a ship. So that means actually you have definite, so you have about 7,000 containers loaded on one ship. So containers can take a product. If you have goods in a different, like break bulk cargo, then you don't know how to store the goods, segregate the goods. So in container means you put it in there, it is closed container completely. So it is, doors are locked, then you seal the container and you can transport. But if it's a break bulk cargo, it is loose item. So there can be pilferage, there can be damages when transporting. So container is more secure. So what they have done, International Standards Organization, so they have actually standardized the container sizes, like 20 feet and 40 feet containers. They are developed by standard. So these containers, what we do, we build trailers to suit the containers. So for that container, there will be a particular trailer. There will be 20 feet trailer or 40 feet trailer to suit. Or 2 20 feet trailer can go in one 40 feet trailer. That's a standard that is developed. Now, these containers actually, over a period, actually, these containers are used in the ship. So ship actually, they have leases for locating the containers. So anybody who has seen the ship actually when loaded with container, they have can stack the container 9 high, 9 stack high they can store. So if they can load, so that means each container is 30 tons. So 9 stack is about 270 tons, one rack. Like that they can store about 25 racks. So that, and the lines actually they can load 25 lines. So that means nearly about 7,000 to 8,000 containers they can store in one ship, take in one ship. So this became a standard transportation method. So each container costing for transportation was something around $700. Say from Europe to India, if you bring a container with a good. So if I have a good which is to be done, I can supply as a, if it is a full load of a container, I pay $700 for the transportation. Or if I take only a part load, probably depending on the size of the load, actually I get paid. I pay that amount. This is how the container transportation works. So you need to book through an agent for the particular container, and the container can be stuffed and it can be transported. So So in a sea, for example, in a sea transportation, so containers is heavy, like each weight is about 4.5 tons or something. So you cannot transport on flight. So flight there is a different container, it's aluminum type container. So in the sea container is more standard, which are used actually. So sea freight is also less expensive in terms of cost. The COVID situation, what has happened, the containers, so we got used to this working with containers for the last 25-30 years. So for example, I need to load a cargo, I bring the container to my factory, I stuff all the cargo, I seal it with the customs because there is a duty involved. So I seal with customs, then the container after sealing will go to the port, it will be again inspected, then it will be poured to the ship, then it goes again back to the other port wherever it has to go, say for example Europe or from Japan actually. So it goes to that port, again it gets disturbed or it is again inspected. Then from there wherever the container number is there, then they have to transport the container to that yard so the goods get delivered. So in the COVID situation what happened, all these containers actually just moved to one place because we are used to working for the last 25 years with containers. So people have started using containers. The COVID situation, the container which went didn't come back. So what happens when the container goes, destuffed, then empty container again somebody will store that, then it goes like that. So they maintain the numbers actually. So I can hire a container and give it on lease. Then I get paid by the shipping agent for the container. So the container will be like I can buy 10 containers, 20 containers and give it like rentals. So that container where it is, it will always I will have an information. So it goes around the world. So I get paid for the container rentals. In the COVID situation, container whichever gone like to China there's a disruption. So container got parked there, it didn't get returned. So like that actually when it went to Europe, then it get parked there. Again the empty containers are not coming back. So the whole world actually got into a problem of having containers. So container cost which was costing $700 for transportation of 27 tons load, it went to $7,000 each container. So 10 times it has increased even now. So this is the biggest disruption. So if the freight cost increase, what happened? The product cost also increases. Again, availability of the ship. So these are the problems actually with reference to supply chain. So the containers are available not there. So now government India what they have done, they have told actually we will start manufacturing containers. So they have now given order for some 10 lakh containers, something like that. They wanted to produce. So they have started a plant in Gujarat. So this is how actually the things are changing because when the containers are like, I have seen a plant in China where they produce one container per minute. You can understand the logistics in it. The one container, complete container is manufactured one minute. So it is a cycle. So that is how the plant big is actually. It will be like a mountain standing because the 1 minute means you must need to have that much parking area for container. That much transportation has to also happen as it is. So the complete container assembled and it comes out in 1 minute. So when you feed raw material, it gets folded, welded, then assembled, then tested, painted, tested, and it comes as a container. So that is the type of technology they are having. So here actually for our manufacturing container, we do actually at least it takes about 1 day for one container. So that is the difference. So what will be the cost? Cost wise actually is that much economical. So that's why the container business totally died in India. So people are not interested in making container, we are importing from China. So now actually the China is also not doing containers because the container because of the COVID issues. Now there is a container shortage. Freight rates have got very high. So automatically people are now started investing. This is one type of problem that is happening like the situation in the COVID situation when there is a disruption, what is happening when we need to come out of this situation. So what happened about vaccine availability. So India was saved because we actually gone ahead with Covaxin. So or else we would have actually become a problem or we would have actually ended up paying more money in terms of development of vaccine. And problem is actually we didn't have that type of logistics for transporting Pfizer type vaccine. So we were not able to do that. So we were developed our own vaccine and we were able to mitigate the risk. So what is happening is actually, so when you are talking about supply chain and logistics, it's a very big subject actually, where the cost content or the savings in this one, for example, the logistic cost on the whole product will be something close to 25 to 26%. Logistic cost alone in a product. Anything you buy, actually your logistic cost will be about 25 to 26%. The same product logistic cost in abroad, like in US, actually is only about 11 to 12%. So in India, it is costing about 25 to 26%. So there's a huge gap, 10% of gap actually is there in this place where the cost of the product can come down. So this is also a big avenue actually for exploration, how actually this cost can be cut down. There are many requirements, like you don't have good roads for transportation, you don't have refrigerator system along the road, you don't have proper parking system, parking ways, the time taken for unloading, loading is more in India. So these are all the efficiency actually which counts in terms of this, the product which is being logistic handled by India, logistic handled by the other countries. So first thing is actually to start again actually basically we go to the basic things of the supply chain management. Is like everybody is handling supply chain on a daily basis, including your mother, your who are handling a material or handling buying a product is dealing with supply chain. But you need to know that actually the supply chain is something, it is not only limited to one product actually. So it is limited when you are handling multiple products, then you need to know the multiple methods of handling it. Now question is, these are all existing only. Because when you go to supply chain, actually your inventory, your stores management, your warehouse management, everything is part of supply chain. Because when you wanted to store a product, actually you need to have a warehouse. When you have a warehouse, then you need to know how to retrieve the system. Like for example, like Amazon, or if you order a product actually, so how to retrieve the system? They have like 10,000, 20,000 products in a warehouse. So if you are ordering some product, actually somebody is ordering also, you have say one day 1 lakh customer handling different products. So how to retrieve that item and get it delivery? So that is also a big challenge. So this is how actually, that's where your IoT comes, Internet of Things comes, where actually people use technology to use it. So you can have automated system, so AI, artificial intelligence introduced, RFID tags, you have drone system. So those things are the latest things which are already being used. In India it is very primitive, comes now. Now drone is one of the biggest subject actually people are talking about in terms of for medicine delivery, for food delivery actually people are talking about. Maybe that will become reality in 1.5 years, it will become reality. Because India, Tamil Nadu is more focusing on drone development. So they wanted to have, they become a drone hub, manufacturing hub in Tamil Nadu. So there will be more focus on that. So this are all actually having latest changes that are happening in the supply chain. Now we will go to the recent trends which are happening in supply chain. Next. See what we talked about basic of supply chain, because I am not getting into more technical into it because I don't know the real level of understanding of people. But first thing is you must know actually what a supply chain is, supply chain management is, and how actually it is functioning in an industry basically. And second one is what is logistics. And now when you get into that, actually these are all already existing. It is nothing new you are going to do, but you need to learn about it, know about these things. For you, when you are working on an exam, you need to know the concept of supply chain. You need to know actually how supply chain is functioning. Then only you can get into that and start giving your inputs to it. Or you can try to follow the work people are doing. Okay. Now, but this has gone to a different level now because of the COVID situation. Actually, what is happening in this current trend is because lot of goods started, they were not able to sell it. 2 years there was no requirement of business. Suddenly there is a boom in the industry, but they are not able to sell. For example, cars, I think people will be knowing about the microchip problem. You know about the microchip problem, that the electronic chips are not available. Because of that there is a disruption in the car industry. Anybody aware of that? What is the problem? You must know the latest thing happening around actually. See, if you are all MBA things actually, you must get to know what is the thing happening around you in the world. That is how you get things around. It is not only just reading books. So there is a huge problem that is happening around is that this electronic chips are not available. Semiconductors are not available. Why? Why suddenly it is not available?
As a corona, demand for increase. So,
But demand is already there. At least they can supply for the existing customers. No?
corona demand products.
சரி.
Demand அதிகமாகிறதுனால அவங்க சொல்லுவாங்க.
இப்போ டிமாண்ட் அதிகமாகல ஆக்சுவலாக என்ன ஆச்சுன்னா more than 50% of the chip manufacturing company is in Taiwan. So Taiwan is contributing to more than 50 to 60% of the chip semiconductor manufacturing. Even nanoboards and electronic boards, all parts there is coming with ECU, electronic control unit. So electronic control unit is engineer function. So EMS engine management system electronic based. So from our mobile phone to everything actually, so it is now become electronics. Even door opening, automatic system, actually Dr. Ravi was telling that he is developing some sort of a lock system and all. So other than that, becomes chip becomes important, semiconductor becomes important. Semiconductor manufacturing is a lot of water, pure water. So Taiwan is one of the biggest supplier for this. They are supplying to US. US is owning many companies in Taiwan. More than 38-40 companies are there which are supplying to US alone. So that's why China cannot interfere with Taiwan because the US is owning many of the industries there. And that is a hub for the semiconductors, chip manufacturing also. So என்ன நடக்குதுன்னா ஆக்சுவலா அங்க there become a drought. There was no water suddenly. So வரலாறு காணாத இது வறட்சி வந்துச்சு. So you need to have something like 50,000 liters water for manufacturing some 2,000 chips, 3,000 chips. So that is recirculated. So water is not available. So input raw material was a problem also. So அதனால அங்க இருக்க companies were not able to support production. So அது இல்லாம நிறைய development technological changes நிறைய வந்துச்சு. So they have to design new chips also. So இது எல்லாத்தையும் கோப் பண்றதுக்கு ரெக்கமெண்ட் இல்ல. இது இண்டஸ்ட்ரி பத்தல. So they were not able to try to do. அதனால ஆச்சுன்னா even car manufacturing they cut down the production by 30%. இதெல்லாம் நீங்க தெரிஞ்சுக்கணும் ஆக்சுவலா என்ன நடக்குது இண்டஸ்ட்ரியில. car manufacturing, bike manufacturing, including bike கூட நிறைய chips வந்துருக்கு. Even mobile phones, Apple mobile phone எல்லாமே actually they have to cut down the requirement. But industry demand ஜாஸ்தி ஆயிடுச்சு. இப்போ கேமிங் சாஃப்ட்வேர் நிறைய வந்துருச்சு. ஸோ லைக் எலக்ட்ரானிக் டாய்ஸ் நிறைய வந்துச்சு. ஸோ கோவிட் முடிஞ்ச உடனே என்ன ஆயிடுச்சு, நிறைய பேர் ஆர்டர் பண்ண ஆரம்பிச்சிட்டாங்க. ஸோ என்னார்மஸ் ரெக்யர்மெண்ட் வந்துருச்சு, ஆனால் சப்ளையே இல்லை. அண்ட் இந்த ப்ராப்ளம் வந்ததுனால ஆக்சுவலாக விச் ஹஸ் டு பி கிவன் ப்ரையாரிட்டி, வாட் ஹஸ் டு பி டன் அப்படிங்கிறது ப்ராப்ளம் வந்ததுனால கம்ப்ளீட் இண்டஸ்ட்ரி பிகம் ஸ்டாண்ட் ஸ்டில். So that is one of the reason actually. So that becomes having a global impact. So this is where actually you also need to know what is happening around. ஒரு சின்ன ப்ராடக்ட் எப்படி இம்பாக்ட் பண்ணுது கம்ப்ளீட்லி. ஸோ ஹூ இஸ் ஸோ சப்ளை செயின் பிளேஸ் a மேஜர் பார்ட் இல்லையா அதில் ஆக்சுவலாக. இப்போ அந்த சிப் அவைலபிள் இருக்குது, எனக்கு அந்த சிப் இன்னைக்கு வேணும், அது இதுதான் தான் எனக்கு ப்ரொடக்ஷன் லைன் நிற்குது. லைக் தேர் இன் தி ரெனால்ட் நிசான் அதர் டே ஆக்சுவலி they gave holiday. எனக்கு there was a training program, we were told not to come. So they told because we are cancelling because factory is closed today. Why abdina? There is no chip has just come, so it will be delayed because they have to, once it is imported in India, it has to go to Pune and then go to Hyderabad and then come to Chennai. So அதனால அது வரல, அதனால plant close பண்ணிட்டாங்க. So plant close பண்ணா எவ்வளோ நஷ்டம் திருப்பி ஆயிடுச்சு கம்பெனிக்கு. So again, so this is how the planning has to be there. So who will be blamed for that? Industry as the chip is not available சொல்லிடலாம். So supply chain manager என்ன பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காங்க? So why he has not focused on the things? So why he cannot get those things on the time? Because the plant leading to shutdown. That means actually you are sending out near 2,000 people not to come on the day. So we were there actually. Our program was cancelled. We went the other day. எதுக்கு சொல்ல வரேன்னா actually how the disruption can create. So we need to forecast things and see actually what can go wrong. So the easy illa, but still actually people have to be there. This is all actually where your digital supply chain comes into picture. Now people are more focusing on digital supply chain because you need to have you must have resilience and agility you need to have geo-diversification and digital transformation. These are the three key terms which are happening around after the COVID situation. So you cannot have one single supplier. Now what they are telling is China plus one supplier. China is one supplier, then plus one supplier. Maybe one is India. So globally they are talking China plus one supplier. So China will still continue to supply, but everybody want to move away from China because of this COVID reasons. So China plus one supplier is the concept which they are using. So India can try to reap the benefit. So what will happen is, in that case, if I develop one more supplier and keep it, actually I can try to save the problems, or I have more type of support for the company in terms of sourcing. So I need to work on development. So you need to have a resilient. One is that actually I can use interchangeability of all the chips, components, design wise actually in terms of supply chain common modular type create pannikala, so that actually I try to mitigate the risk. ஒரு நீங்க நான் இன்னொன்று போட்டு ஒர்க் பண்ணி கம்ப்ளீட் பண்ணலான்னு இன்னொன்று எப்படி பண்ணலாம் அப்படின்னா ஆக்சுவலாக நான் டோட்டலாக ஒன்று சப்ளையர் வச்சுக்கலாம், ரெண்டு சப்ளையர் வச்சுக்கலாம். ஸோ தட் ஐ கிவ் 50% to him, 50% to him, or 80% to him and 20% to him. ஸோ அதனால் whenever I need actually I can scale up the requirement. ஸோ அது மாதிரி ஃபோக்கஸ் பண்ணாங்கன்னா ஆக்சுவலாக தென் அதுதான் இந்த ரெசிலியன்ஸ் அண்ட் அஜிலிட்டி இஸ் ரொம்ப இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் கோயிங் ஃபார்வர்ட். அதே மாதிரி ஆக்சுவலாக ஜியோ டைவர்சிஃபிகேஷன். ஸோ I told China plus one. So now they are trying to let us not only source from one country or two countries, let us source from all the countries, so that we don't land into this type of issues, because that's a political issue. So why Russia is waging war against Ukraine? Why Russia is waging war against Ukraine? NATO join பண்ணதுல ப்ராப்ளம் இருக்கு உங்களுக்கு. ஆப்போசிட் ரஷ்யா இருக்கு. நேட்டோ அதுக்கு பக்கத்தில் இருக்க போலண்ட் இருக்காங்க, அதுக்கப்புறம் இருக்காங்க, அவங்களோட இருக்கும்போது எதுக்கு யுக்ரைன் வந்து நேட்டோவில் ஜாயின் பண்ண பிரச்சனை இருக்குது. But that can happen. Question is actually, yes, NATO will join is one of the reasons. There are other different political reasons, because of that Putin lookout is different totally. So there actually now, because of that disruption as it is, what happened, the day they started the war, our prices in India rose. Why some same day actually it has risen? Because even the product has not traveled. அங்கே வந்து வார் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணவொடனே இங்கே வந்து ஃபியூல் ப்ரைஸ் இன்க்ரீஸ் ஆச்சு, இது மற்ற மெட்டீரியல் ப்ரைஸஸ்லாம் இன்க்ரீஸ் ஆச்சு. ரிலேட்டட் மெட்டீரியல் ப்ரைஸஸ் எங்கே என்னென்னலாம் லைக் அலுமினா இதெல்லாம் வந்து எடுத்துக்கிறதுல இன்க்ரீஸ் ஆகிடுச்சு. ப்ராடக்ட்டும் மூவ் ஆகுது. ஸோ திஸ் இஸ் த டைப் ஆஃப் இஷ்யூஸ் வி கேன் தி குளோப் கேன் ஃபேஸ். ஸோ அதுலேருந்து நம்ம சுச்சுவேஷன் வரணும்னா வி நீட் ஹேவ் எ ஜியோ டைவர்சிஃபிகேஷன். வி நீட் நாட் டிபெண்ட். சிலதெல்லாம் ரிசோர்ஸ் ஸ்பெசிஃபிக். நீங்கள் அந்த ரிசோர்ஸ் அங்கே தான் இருக்குன்னா நீங்கள் அங்கே தான் வாங்கி வாங்க, வழி இல்லை. நீங்கள் வேறு இடத்துல போய் வாங்க முடியாது. லைக் ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் சம் ஓர்ஸ் ஆர் அவைலபிள் ஒன்லி இன் ரஷ்யா ஆக்சுவலாக. ஸோ யூ கேனாட் கோ அவுட் அண்ட் பை. ஸோ யூ ஹேவ் டு டிபெண்ட் ஆன் ரஷ்யா. இவங்க எல்லாம் சாங்ஷன்ஸ்லாம் போடுறாங்க. சாங்ஷன்ஸ் மட்டும் போட்டால் பத்தாது. சாங்ஷன்ஸ் போடுறதுல எப்படி தானே ப்ராடக்ட் அங்கேருந்து வந்தாங்க, இல்லாட்டி தி கேனாட் சர்வை அப்படின்னு இருக்கும்போது என்ன செய்வாங்க, அந்த ப்ராடக்ட் தான் மற்றதுக்கு தான் சாங்ஷன் போடுவாங்க. பிகாஸ் தே themselves know that's a problem. ஸோ அதனால் ஜியோ டைவர்சிஃபிகேஷன் ரொம்ப that is the keyword now people are started using it actually, so that you don't get into one particular country, one particular product. If you don't do that product, end of the day, so why you depend on that product? So you have some other product replacing that product. This is where the innovation comes into picture. So you need to be more resilient and more agile. That is very important. So third one, the digital transformation. So everything is now becoming digital. So தெரியலையோ ஆக்சுவலாக எல்லாருக்கும் வந்து முன்ன வந்து எல்லாருக்கும் டைப்பிங் தெரியணும்னு சொல்லுவோம். ஃபஸ்ட்டு எல்லாருமே லோயர் கிளாஸ், லோயர் அண்ட் ஹையர் டைப்பிங் போயிருந்தாங்க. அதுக்கப்புறம் இப்போ கம்ப்யூட்டர் தெரியணும், அட்லீஸ்ட் லெட்டர் டைப் பண்ண தெரியணும், லைக் வேர்ட் எம்எஸ் வேர்ட் தெரியணும், எக்ஸஸ் தெரியணும் அப்படிங்கிறது ரிக்வயர்மெண்ட். அது இல்லாமல் ஆக்சுவலாக இப்போ கோயிங் ஃபார் இஃப் யூ கோ த டே ஒன் ஆக்சுவலி யூ வில் பி ஒன்லி கிவன் a system. You are all now maybe working from home also, depending on the requirement as it is. So you will be only given the system, and you will be having a guided tool that இது தான் பண்ணணும்ங்கிறது. There's a procedure to be followed and the protocol to be followed and you need to do and you are reporting, get the data, feed the data and then get the output and then do it all. So now people are still working on digital transformation. So என்ன நடக்க போகுது, எல்லாமே digital ஆயிடுச்சுனால then how many people will be there? People employment has to come down. Correct? Going forward actually இப்போ என்ன நடக்குதுன்னா டோட்டலா இண்டஸ்ட்ரியில as it is everybody is looking for robots. So robotics even like already like Amazon இவங்கெல்லாம் வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா எல்லாமே வந்து actually AI யூஸ் பண்ணிட்டு they have drones and mobile systems எல்லாமே வந்து programmed system. நீங்க just போனா எங்க சிஸ்டம் எங்க இருக்குன்னு பிக் அப் பண்ணிட்டு வேற சிஸ்டம் வந்து ரெடி பண்ணிடுவாங்க. அது மாதிரி சிஸ்டம் தான் இருக்கு இப்போ. So number of people requirement becomes a process industry than as a people industry. So அது மாதிரி இருக்கும்போது அப்போ நம்மளுடைய ரெக்கமெண்ட் நம்மளுடைய என்வாயர்மெண்டல் நம்மளுடைய எம்ப்ளாய்மெண்ட் எங்கே வரும்? So unless until you get to tune to the digital, so there's a digital transformation supply chain, we also need to get more digital knowledge on the supply chain. So digital knowledge இருந்துச்சுன்னா தான் actually you can survive. So anybody who doesn't know computer அப்படின்னா very ரொம்ப கஷ்டம் going forward. So you cannot just tell that actually I will do paperwork, I will do monitoring work, supervisor லாம் இல்லை. So it will be purely digital. Next slide. See what is happening around, what is the digital trends in supply chain forcing the increased share of investment in digital capabilities. So through 2024, 50% of supply organization will invest in applications that support artificial intelligence and advanced analytical capabilities. In 2024, 50% of the organization will try to invest on the AI. So that means 2027, 2028, the people requirement will be for this, the requirement will come down drastically. So unless people are more efficient and people know about digitalization, it's survive on it. So you all need to get to know more things on that subject. So these are the trends that are happening around. So number one and சொல்ல முடியாது. Like what is happening mobile 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G, 4G, but then next they are talking about 6G, 7G எல்லாம் பேசிட்டு இருக்காங்க. So 5G வந்துருச்சுனாலே இது எல்லாமே மாறிடும். Because 5G வந்துருச்சுனா actually what is also happening around is there is a technology called blockchain. நீங்க வந்து actually it will be there will be big impact because of blockchain technology. Blockchain technology அப்படினா actually இப்போ இன்வாய்ஸ் நீங்க ஒரு இடத்துல ரைஸ் பண்றீங்க அப்படினா for example ஒரு இன்வாய்ஸ் நீங்க ரைஸ் பண்றீங்கன்னா டிஜிட்டல் இன்வாய்ஸ் ரைஸ் பண்ணுவீங்க. So இப்போ கரண்ட் பிராக்டிஸ் இருக்குன்னா you have to raise invoice. இன்வாய்ஸ் வந்து ஃபிசிக்கல் ஃபார்மேட்ல போகும், தென் அது போய் ஆடிட் சப்மிஷன் அதெல்லாம் அப்படி இது ப்ராசஸ் போகும், பேமெண்ட் போகும், ஆடிட் இது போகும், அப்படி தான் போகும். இப்போ எல்லாமே வந்து நெட்டில் பண்ணிடுவாங்க. நீங்கள் ஐடிஆர் ஃபைல் பண்ணுற மாதிரி, இன்கம் டேக்ஸ் ஃபைல் பண்ணுற மாதிரி. ஒன்ஸ் நெட்டில் டிஜிட்டல் சிக்னேச்சர் ஃபைல் பண்ணிட்டாங்கன்னா அதை மாற்ற முடியாது. ஸோ ஒன்ஸ் அதை மாற்ற முடியாதுன்னா தென் கவர்மெண்ட்டுக்கு இமீடியட்டாக நோ தட் ஹவு மச் டேக்ஸ் கவர்மெண்ட் வில் கெட் இமீடியட்லி. ஸோ நீங்கள் பே பண்ணணுன்ற அவசியமே இல்லை. ஸோ அது மாதிரி எல்லாருமே இன்வாய்ஸ் வந்து டிஜிட்டல் அப்லோட் பண்ண போகிறாங்க. லைக் இப்போ எப்படி வந்துருக்காங்கன்னா 500 crore கம்பெனி வரைக்கும் டர்னோவர் கம்பெனி வரைக்கும் டிஜிட்டல் இன்வாய்ஸ் போடுறாங்க. இப்போ நெக்ஸ்ட் இதில் வந்து 50 crore கம்பெனி வரைக்கும் டிஜிட்டல் இன்வாய்ஸ் போடலான்னு இருக்கிறாங்க. ஸோ நான் இன்வாய்ஸ்ன்னு சொல்லும்போது நீங்கள் if you are becoming a supply chain managers-னா then this you need to know about this things also. So that actually when you are buying a supplier invoice you will be getting it digitally, you will not be getting a physical invoice. So blockchain technology not only invoice, your data, documents, எல்லாமே வந்து digital only. You will not have any physical paper. So everything will be authenticated. If you are not able to pay tax, you will not be able to do business. So they are controlling that way. So it will be all linked to the bank accounts, your documents will be verified, everything will be on the system only, so you can upload. 5G technology will help because like இப்போ நீங்கள் வந்து ஆக்சுவலாக ஒரு 800 MB டேட்டா வந்து 1 நிமிஷத்தில் டவுன்லோட் பண்ணிடலாம் 5G. less than 1 minute you will be able to download. So உங்களுக்கு இந்த டேட்டாஸ் அவைலபிள் இருந்துச்சுன்னா அந்த டேட்டாஸ் retrieval will be very very faster. So everybody will be stressed, everybody has to move faster because like என்ன சொல்றாங்க, நான் இன்னைக்கு இன்வாய்ஸ் போட்டப்பா நான் நாளைக்கு தான் அனுப்ப போகிறேன் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு இந்த நெக்ஸ்ட் ஒர்க் பார்க்க போவேன். ஆக்சுவலாக நான் இன்வாய்ஸ் போட்டப்பா எனக்கு இமீடியட்டாக நீங்கள் நெக்ஸ்ட் ஒர்க் இன்றைக்கே பார்க்கணும்னா நெக்ஸ்ட் நான் ஆக்சுவலாக ஒர்க் லோட் இன்க்ரீசஸ். ஸோ ரெண்டுத்துக்கும் வித்தியாசம் இருக்கு இல்லையா? ஸோ வாட் ஹேப்பன்ஸ் ஆக்சுவலி பீப்புள் யுவர் எக்ஸ்பெக்டேஷன் யுவர் எஃபிஷியன்சி வில் கோ அப், ரெக்யர்மெண்ட் ஆஃப் யுவர் efficiency will be go up. So you need to actually start looking into that aspect. It will become faster, everybody will become faster. Because technology is that way actually. Technology will push you, technology will drive you. So not only in supply chain, in all the field it is going to happen. இப்போ பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஆக்சுவலாக வெல்டிங் கூட ஆட்டோமேட்டிக் வந்துருச்சு ஃபுல்லாக. முன்ன வந்து ஆக்சுவலாக சிஎன்சி மிஷின் அதெல்லாம் வந்தது. இப்போ வந்து ஆக்சுவலாக நீங்கள் ஜஸ்ட் ஒரு மிஷின் ஃபீட் பண்ணால் போதும், அதுவே எல்லாம் பண்ணி கொடுத்துரும். வெல்டிங்க்கு வந்து ஆக்சுவலாக இந்த ஸ்கில் செட் தேவை இருந்துச்சு, இப்போ ஸ்கில் செட்டே தேவையில்லை. வெல்டிங்னா இவங்க தான் பண்ணணும், இவங்க தான் வெல்டர் அப்படின்னு குவாலிஃபிகேஷன் இப்போ மிஷினுக்கு ப்ரோக்ராம் பண்ணால் அதே மிஷின் பண்ணி கொடுத்துரும். ஸோ இந்த லென்த்து இந்த சைஸ் எல்லாம் டிஃபைன் பண்ணி கொடுத்துட்டீங்கன்னா அதே பண்ணிக்கும். ஸோ அப்போ ஸ்கில் வெல்டருக்கு என்ன ரெக்யூர்மெண்ட்டு இல்லை. This is how happening in every field. So right or wrong actually நீங்கள் பண்ணுறீங்களோ நீங்கள் பண்ணி இந்த டெக்னாலஜி வந்துட்டு தான் இருக்கும். ஸோ டெக்னாலஜியை வந்து கான்ஸ்டண்ட்டாக நீங்கள் ரொம்ப அப்டேட்டடாக இருக்கிறது ரொம்ப முக்கியம். This is my sincere advice also, that you get to know about the latest thing happening around you. ஒன்று பொலிட்டிக்கலாக இருக்கலாம், இன்னொன்று வந்து on your field, on your own field. So because this will only keep driving you. Either you are doing business or you are going for employee or you are doing some other work, actually you need to be at least more informative about what is happening around you. So what is also happening? So autonomous things by 2026, the use of autonomous things will displace 25% of warehouse logistics operations forklift drivers. So 2026 ல forklift drivers ஓட ரெக்கமெண்ட் கம்மியாகும். ஸோ இப்போ அதெல்லாம் வந்து ஜாபாக இருக்குது ஆக்சுவலாக. ஃபோக்லிஃப்ட் இருக்குது, ஃபோக்லிஃப்ட் ஜாப். ஃபோக்லிஃப்ட்டே தேவையில்லைன்னா டிரைவர்ஸும் தேவையில்லை. ஸோ பை 2026 AI will replace everything as it is. And by 2023, 50% of global product-centric enterprises will have invested in real-time transportation facility platform. This is also happening around actually. Transportation facility platform. இப்போ நிறைய பேர் வந்து partnership and they are not actually wanting to have their own fleet. Like Ola, Uber, Mari, actually, like Ola or Uber doesn't own a car, but they are still doing business. So individual people will be there. So somebody will be controlling them. So same type of platform will be there. So it will be like real-time platform availability is complete. So global people will take. So it will be like you all will be going forward, coming under one roof for working. Unless until we are very innovative, there is a big opportunity for us to get more subject knowledge or innovation into the requirement and this, then you can actually reap the benefit. Actually, as usual, actually we are very lacking much on the innovation, so we will not be able to reap the benefit. The technology front, we are not up to the mark. We are at a very low level technology as it is. So technology la நம்ம upgrade பண்ணோம் அப்படினா then it will take time. So அதுக்கு வந்து இன்னைக்கு ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணா 10 years ஆகும்னா 10 years குள்ள அவங்க வந்து அதுக்கு முன்னாடி 10 years முன்னாடி போயிடுவாங்க. So அப்போ you need to be very much fast thinking. So these are the challenges actually which you need to know about it as it is. So anywhere operations by 2023, 40% of organization will blend virtual and physical experiences, leading to increased workforce productivity and customer. So 40% வந்து actually so இப்போ வந்து இங்க இருந்து நீங்க எல்லாத்துக்குமே டீல் பண்ணலாம். Provided you know how to do it, you have to do it. If you don't know, you are not in business. So you need to if daily வந்து actually there is something happening around, because you are right or wrong actually நமக்கு என்னமோ வேற தெரியலையோ ஏதாவது ஒரு வந்து இம்ப்ரூவ் ஆகிட்டே இருக்கு. அந்த இம்ப்ரூவ்மெண்ட் வந்து ஸ்ட்ரீம்லைன் ஆகி ப்ரொடக்ஷன் வந்துருச்சுன்னா ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்காக தட் வில் டேக் ஓவர். ஸோ ஒன்ஸ் அது டேக் ஓவர் ஆச்சுன்னா அதே சொல்கிறேன் சொன்ன மாதிரி தான் ப்ராடக்ட் சைக்கிள் தட் வில் ரீச் தி பீக். அந்த பீக் அப்புறம் டிக்ளைன் ஆகும் சம்திங் வில் டேக் ஓவர். பட் நம்மளோட ரெக்கமெண்ட் என்னது ஒன்று அதில் இருக்கும் நம்ம வந்து வி ஆல்சோ நீட் டு முன்ன சாப் சொல்லியிருந்தாங்க, எல்லாரும் சாப்பிட்ணும் படிக்க ஆரம்பிச்சாங்க எல்லாரும். இப்போ சாப் இஸ் ஸ்டில் தேர் ஆக்சுவலாக, பட் சாப்புக்கு அப்புறமா நெக்ஸ்ட் லெவல் தான் வந்துருச்சு. பட் சாப் இஸ் ஸ்டில் ஸோ சாப் வந்து என்ன சொல்கிறாங்க ஆக்சுவலாக சாப்போட பெட்டரோட ப்ரோக்ராம்ஸ் தான் இருக்குன்னா அதில் மைக்ரேட் ஆகலாமே அப்படின்னு சொல்லும்போது அண்ட் யுவர் நீட் ஆக்சுவலாக சாப் இல்லாத சாப் தேவையில்லை நெக்ஸ்ட் லெவல் போயிடலாம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. நெக்ஸ்ட் பிளாட்ஃபார்ம் பண்ணாங்கன்னா தென் யூ ஆல்சோ நீட் டு லேர்ன். So you need to unlearn things and learn things. So this is one of the important aspects for all you people actually, management people who are coming to the management line, need to know what is happening around, need to know what is the trend happening around in the industry, get to know things which are happening around you. Appoda vandu you will be able to survive. So and it is very easy because ipo COVID situation vandadanaala ellarkum level playing platform ஆயிடுச்சு. எல்லா இப்போ வந்து ஆக்சுவலாக படித்தவன் படிக்காதாலும் ஒரே லெவல் அந்த மாதிரி ஆகிடுச்சு. ஸோ பிகாஸ் எல்லாமே நியூ டெக்னாலஜி இருந்துச்சு. ஏற்கனவே இருந்தவங்களுக்கு நியூ டெக்னாலஜி தெரியாது, புதுசாக வரவனுக்கு அது புதுசு. ஸோ ஹீ கேன் லேர்ன் ஃபாஸ்டர். ஸோ இட் பிகம்ஸ் மோர் இன்ட்ரெஸ்டிங் ஃபார் நியூ பீப்புள் டு கம். அதனால தான் நிறைய நியூ ஸ்டார்ட் அப்ஸ் வர ஆரம்பிச்சிருக்கு ஃபுல்லாக. ஸோ நியூ இனோவேட்டிவ் மெத்தட்ஸ் வருது. ஸோ அப்போ வந்து there is a good chance for all people actually, younger people who are coming around with new thoughts actually can be doing it, provided you get to know things faster. அது ரொம்ப ரொம்ப important. Next slide. So next is the hyper automation actually going forward. So இத பாத்தீங்கன்னா demand planning, logistics, fulfillment, manufacturing எல்லாமே வந்து become autonomous based. This is not going to happen with the real time situation. So current வந்து என்ன நடக்குதோ அதெல்லாம் மாறும் ஃபுல்லா. For example, actually Microsoft device supply chain developed deep learning forecasting model to estimate demand of இப்போ இது வந்து ஆக்சுவலாக கஸ்டமர் லெவல்லே வந்து ஆக்சுவலாக தே வாண்டட் டு கிரியேட் டிமாண்ட் ஃபோக்கஸ்டிங். இன்னும் வந்து எப்படி இருக்குன்னா சப்ளையர் லெவலில் பண்ணுவோம், இந்த டிமாண்ட் இவ்வளோ வரும் எக்ஸ்பெக்டட். கஸ்டமர் லெவலில் பண்ணிட்டாங்கன்னா தென் இட் பிகம்ஸ் ஈஸியர். தட் ரியல் டைம் லைக் உங்கள் ஃப்ரிட்ஜில் என்ன வேணுங்கிறது அவங்களே டிசைட் பண்ணி எடுத்து வைக்கிற மாதிரி. ஸோ தட் இட் பிகம்ஸ் ஈஸி. ஸோ யூ நீட் நாட் டு எனி அதர் ஃபோக்கஸ்டிங். ஸோ அந்த லெவலுக்கு தேர் கோயிங் இட். ஸோ இப்போ கூகுளில் வந்து ரியல் டைம் மாடல்ஸ் நிறைய டெவலப் பண்ண ஆரம்பிச்சிட்டாங்க, விசிபிலிட்டி கிரியேட் பண்ணுறது. ஸோ அதே மாதிரி மைக்ரோசாஃப்ட். ஸோ இவங்களாம் வந்து பிகர் பிளேயர்ஸ்லாம் வந்து ஆக்சுவலாக ட்ரை டு ஃபோக்கஸ் கிவ் ஏ கஸ்டமர் எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ், மோர் ஆஃப் கஸ்டமர் வேர் டு இம்ப்ரூவ் தி எஃபிஷியன்சி. அதில் என்ன ஆகுதுன்னா ஆக்சுவலாக when people are improving the efficiency, then the people who are not doing it automatically has to get eroded. New people, only people who know the subject will be there. So this is the need of the hour. That's where actually you need to know that when things are happening, new things are happening around, we need to get to know more about this very clearly and what to do with it. இப்போ logistics, UPS even COVID situation, the UPS and DHL made a lot of money actually, because that is one of the thing which actually that they were able to do effective logistics, map the system and do it autonomously. So that's where actually now they are getting to the next level of approach. So UPS எல்லாத்துமே டெலிவர் பண்ணுறதுக்கு பண்ணிடுவாங்க ஆக்சுவலாக in terms of it. So it becomes like warehouse இருக்க போகிறது இல்லை. அப்போ who will be owning the item actually? So supplier manufacturing டேரெக்டாக வந்து கஸ்டமருக்கு போயிடுச்சுன்னா then UPS is going to bridge between அப்படின்னா ரொம்ப ஈஸியாக இருக்கும். ப்ராஃபிட் எப்போ வருது ஆக்சுவலாக when you everywhere when there is a middleman you add profit to him. If you cut the middleman, that profit is saved. So from the manufacturing point to the customer point, if there is no middleman, automatically the cost of the product will be less. So who will want the cost? Whoever is going to do that job. So everywhere where the middleman is there, they are going to cut. The middleman is not only the product actually, even the worker. When you are talking about middleman, who is doing the product, தேவையில்லை. அவங்க ப்ராடக்ட் எடுத்துட்டு மிஷினை போட்டுனா மிஷின் வந்து கரெக்ட் பண்ணி கொடுத்துனா நான் மிஷின் ஆன் பண்ணிக்கிறேன். So that actually, so from here to this actually, I will give you order, you will deliver it. I will put machines, I will do everything, and I will take delivery. So my cost is from you, directly from this. I don't have any manpower and other resources in there. So you cut down the cost. So I need to increase volumes in the process here. So this is where actually people are going to be more efficient. So profitability increase ஆகுது. So newcomers வரும்போது actually with the new skilled people அப்படிங்கிறதெல்லாம் வந்து கான்செப்ட் போயிடும். Unless you are able to own or invest on that equipment, you will not be able to sell the product. Correct? So இப்போ வேர்ஹவுஸ்லாம் வந்து நார்மல் வேர்ஹவுஸ் வாங்கிட்டு ரெண்டல் விடுறது ஒரு பிஸ்னஸாக இருக்குது இப்போ ஆக்சுவலாக. இப்போ அது பிகம்ஸ் இன்டெலிஜென்ட் வேர்ஹவுஸாக இருக்கணும் அப்படின்னா அதுக்கான எக்யூப்மெண்ட் இன்வெஸ்ட் பண்ணால் தான் இன்டெலிஜென்ட் வேர்ஹவுஸ். ஸோ இன்டெலிஜென்ட் வேர்ஹவுஸ் வந்து ஆளே தேவையில்லை. வேறு ஆக்சுவலி I will be able to feed the product and get the product out அப்படின்னா I prefer that. I need not have any manpower. So people will start moving towards it. So it becomes technology oriented. Same with Amazon also actually. So எல்லாமே they are coming with new innovative methods for delivery, robotics and cobots. இப்போ ஆக்சுவலாக பார்த்தீங்கன்னா call as robots இது வந்து where it is doing thing here like in the warehouse. So it is going as robot. So it is called cobots. So which is able to actually take the product by their own. So it's all programmed. Second, drones இப்போ ஃபோர்ட் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஆக்சுவலாக நிறைய drones யூஸ் பண்ண டெலிவரி யூஸ் பண்ண ஆரம்பிச்சிட்டாங்க. Drones becomes a bigger subject now. Actually, if they get a license, government gives a license for the drones, then automatically this becomes a bigger subject because the drones will become different forms. Next slide. So 90 future for digital skills. So what is that? Technical skill, business skill, behavioral skill. So we need to have technology, tools and apps. So we need to know about this. So that is the development actually people need to have. Business skills, cross-functional collaboration, then data-driven decision making, process improvement, project management, customer and commercial. And behavioral traits, you must be inclusive, you must have leadership quality, you must be adaptability and risk taking. This is very important. Actually, we have this is very important and this is very important. You must be innovative and creative. This is lacking in India. So we need to be more innovative and more creative. So if you are more innovative and more creative, you are in business. So what is the need is now is actually not only learning subject. You need to learn technology. You need to know what is happening around you and put your thoughts towards it. So that's why I told you from the beginning itself. Actually, what is your goal and passion? You keep that in mind, and whatever you need to do towards improving that, you try to achieve towards it. Then you will have a good understanding of life and you know what you are doing. Learning many things and doing nothing is not needed. Actually, in India, that's the biggest challenge we are having. People know master of everything actually, but he doesn't know anything. But in abroad, if you see, actually people do only one thing, but he is master of everything. And they will do only that. And you also need to practice to tell no. நம்ம இதில் வந்து நோன் சொல்ல மாட்டோம் நார்மலாக. எது இருந்தாலும் வீட்டில் அக்செப்ட் சரி பார்க்குறேன் பண்ணுறேன் அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. You must tell no. If you are not able to do it, tell no. Move to the next subject. It's very important. So அது இருந்துச்சுன்னா ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்காக then you look for next level of thinking. When you start accommodating things, actually, then you try to put your thoughts into that subject where you are not into that, then you waste your time. So this is also one of the important attributes, mainly for Indian people as it is, because this is the problem not only in the way of working actually, because we are wasting time on that. Next. This is about my company. What are the products we are doing? As it is, we are doing a lot of all the type of trailers. Some of the trailers which are these are external trailers for transporting windmill blades, tanker trailers. We are doing from testing fixtures. We are doing for containers for satellite transportation and for defense. So this is I think that is sufficient. I think actually, but any questions you can ask. We are in Tirul. Yeah, you can have it. Say, arrange with Krish Kumar and you can have it. We can have any questions. We can take it. I don't know whether you understood this subject or not. Because in one of the session when I took actually, then after explaining completely about the subject, then one person asked what is a container. No, this is so that's why actually I try to start from the basic and try to give the details. So at least to have some basic understanding. My sincere advice to you is that you try to keep yourself busy learning things. That's very important. See, I started my career in 1992 when I finished my BE engineering. So I joined a job. First job was about 1,000 rupees as salary. So I left the job in 3 days. I joined another company for 1,800 rupees. I stayed at that company for two years. So I was promoted as assistant manager quality there. But my thirst was on the design. So I told I left that company and joined a company which gave me less salary of 5,000. So I joined the company, I stayed in the company for 17 years. Okay, where I acquired all the skills which I wanted to know. So now, after that actually I joined Volvo Trucks for some time and then for a year and then I started my own company. So this is my background. So I now have 3 companies. So we are having a design and service company. I am doing a company with an Italian company called Cometo. So we are selling the high special vehicles actually. Like these are more again for the defense and space. We are selling it here because these are not manufactured in India. We are servicing this equipment. So we try to put efforts in such a way that if we sell one vehicle, then our business is fixed for 15 years support. So my business is fixed for 15 years for that supporting of the vehicle. So I like that when we supply vehicles, we know that actually we are getting business for 15 years. We also manufacture trailers. This is the company. We are just trying to develop this company. We have about 40 people working for us at the moment. So, and also I am also dealing with a design company, so design manufacturer, where we are designing trailers for others. But all are related with defense. Why I am telling this is my passion is on trailers, so I put all my effort on trailers. So I didn't go out of the trailer. When I went to Volvo Trucks actually, when they gave me about my salary at the time was 20 lakhs per annum. So I left that company. I told actually after 1 year, I thought it is not good for me because my career is not okay with that because they are trying to pay me more but there is no work. So I left the job, then I came back, again I started my company, then I did. So idea is that you don't waste your time actually, put your thoughts on your career, try to develop your passion and try to work with your passion to move forward. That will give a lot of insight for you. For me, for IIMM also, which I am just part of IIMM, there is an honorary position. They pay me nothing for this. But for me, actually, whichever I learned or have experience, we need to share with people, so to develop people. That is our idea. So that we need to see to that actually whatever struggle we have gone through, people should not go through the same struggle. At least they get to know things to improve their situations. So if you need any sort of support or advice or anything, you can do Suresh Kumar, you can keep in touch actually, and we will try to support whatever possible. Anything related with supply chain logistics, there are people who can give you a lot of insights on this subject all over India. Actually, we have correct people, right people working specifically on individual subjects also. So they can give you a lot of support in case you wanted to develop this as a crash course. That is very important. So thank you very much
for its stimulating speech. Let us be grateful to the people who make us happy. They are the charming gardeners who make our soul blossom. With this note, I'd like to invite Mr. Sanjay Kant from First Day MBA to deliver the vote of thanks.
Thanks to all the dignitaries who have participated in this program. I would like to thank our chief guest, Dr. B. Ramesh sir, who honored this function with his inspirational thoughts and ideas. Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable today. It was really wonderful section, sir. I hope everyone has been benefited by this section. Thank you so much, sir. Also, I would like to thank our respected principal professor, Dr. E. Kamalanavan sir, for all this support and encouragement, and Dean Academics, Dr. Ravi sir, and our head of the department, Dr. Suresh Kumar sir, for all this motivation and organization such valuable program for us, and our beautiful faculty members, their kind support and guidance, and last I thank my dear friends for their active participation.